And joining me right now here on a Friday to talk all things fishing here on the Space Coast. You see it on his hat. It's Spacefish. The website is spacefish.com. No, that's not his actual name. His name is Damon. That's right. He is the man. Damon, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing just fine. You know, we can say your last name if you want. Or you like Madonna or Cher? Is that it's just one word?
Yeah. Yeah, Damon. A lot of people just call me. They even simplify, call me D. So a lot of people just say, "Hey D." Yeah. So yeah, I respond to all the above, man. It's good.
Yeah. Who are you gonna go get some nachos with? Big D downtown. That's right. That is okay. Let's go over fishing and then we'll go over the photos. So let me bring this up as I'm also the producer of this show. Okay. We'll start with offshore, buddy. And yes, check out spacefish.com for everything. Let's go over the fish report. What's going on with offshore, buddy?
Yeah, man, offshore has been really, really good this past week. So we've had a week of just good weather, which has let anglers get out there and target a lot of these different species. And it's been productive, very productive. Mahi, blackfin tuna, kingfish, cobia, grouper, they've all been caught this week. Amberjack, I mean, you name it, a lot of different fish. The mahi and tuna, if you're targeting those specifically, they were a little bit deeper, 250 to 300. Grouper, fish in the ledges, things like that, you're probably going to be about 200 feet of water. Big baits, you want to use big live baits. Those are the best baits that you can use. And the kingfish and cobia have been coming out on the reefs. 8 a.m. Pelican reefs are the best place to target those fish. You'll pick up some dolphin doing that too. There's dolphin all over that. But we had reports of a little bit more consistent by a little bit deeper. Pogies. So pogies, some people call them bunker if you're from up north. They're just live bait, and they, they're all down the East Coast. So if you can catch live bait before you run offshore, that's always a bonus to have live bait with you. So as of this past week, the reports have been that the pogies have been in the bite. And what that is if you come out of Port Canaveral, you go right past that little north jetty right there. If you look to your left, it literally looks like somebody took a bite out of the coast. That's why they call it the bite. And just work your way through there up along the beach and looking for these fish. You can see the different color change when they're schooled up. It's just like a brownish color under the water, and that's where the pogies are. And sometimes if you turn your engine off, it's actually pretty cool. You can actually just listen, and you can hear them. They flip on top of the water. You can actually just hear them flip and be like, okay, there we go. And then go over where you see that shadow and cast your cast net there and hopefully get some live bait before you go offshore. But that's a great, again, offshore has been fantastic this weekend. And the weather this weekend, I should say, is going to cooperate. So it's not going to be flat calm, but it's going to be nice. I mean, you should be able to get offshore and go out there and target these species. So, if you're able to do that, I highly recommend going offshore because the bite's been pretty good. So near shore, fishing along our beaches, in a boat along our beaches, it's all about the tarpon right now, man. They're starting to come in. We're getting some big jacks out there with them, and it's the same thing. It's you're looking for bait, you're looking for bait schools, that type of thing, and chances are you're going to find these, find these fish around that bait. If you're not seeing bait, look for birds. Pelicans diving. Obviously, they're diving on bait. That's what they eat. So that's a great place to start. Start fishing around those areas if you're not seeing bait, working the top of the water. So near shore, and it's only going to continue to get better as we get into summer, that we should have more bait showing up and a lot more fish following.
You're so funny where you're talking about, now I'm laughing, where you're like, turn the engine off. You can hear them. Like, oh man.
It's true. It's true.
It's like we're out there, like, this guy's one with water. He's like Kevin Costner in Waterworld. He was born on the water. I can see you doing that to the tourists on some boat tour. All right. Here we go. No, you're absolutely right. All right. We're here with Damon with Spacefish. Let's go to the surf, buddy. What's going on?
Yeah, so the surf was much better the last couple of weeks. We had a lot of weeds there for a while, which made it almost impossible to fish, but it's been decent. So we've had some real good catches of whiting, the palmettos, sharks, definitely getting some sharks. And the water has been a little bit dirtier, so a lot of catfish too, so you're going to have to weed through those catfish. Your best baits have been like frozen shrimp rigged on a white float, like pompano rig style. And depending on the wave height and the current, you're going to be anywhere between 3 and 5 ounces of weight. But that should hold you just fine. I don't even think you need a Sputnik. Just a standard pyramid sinker will work just fine. So there's definitely some stuff being caught off the beach, and it should continue into this weekend. Our lagoons, man, this is such a neat time of year because It's all about gator season. And when I say gator season, we call them gator trout. And these are big trout. And just this combination of weather that we've had, the rain, the winds, we've had a huge influx of like mullet into the lagoons, and it's just really turned on the trout bite. And they're such a neat. When I'm talking trout, I'm not talking when you find 100 of these little schoolies with those are a blast too. But I'm talking the big trout. Anything over 25 inches is really considered a gator trout, and they're very spooky. They're smart. They don't get that big by being stupid. So you got to be really stealthy. Live bait is great if you can get live bait and you want to make long casts. That's why you see these guys up there and they're poling. Trolling motors will even spook them a lot of times. But you see these guys up there in those platforms and they're poling. Somebody's on the front of the boat. That's what they're looking for. They're trying to make long casts of these fish, and it could be redfish too. But trout season is really popping off, and we had some really nice trout caught over the last couple of weeks, and that's awesome to see. Freshwater. So the spawn is on, man. The shad spawn is happening right now. Captain Terry Lemieux had a great report for us this week, and he basically was saying like it's an early morning bite, right? So, and it's a topwater mayhem bite. So he's like anything you throw at him during that time is going to get hit. But as soon as it turns off, once the sun comes up, like gets up a little bit, it's done. So it's an early morning bite, and the bass fishing right now, targeting the shad spawn is fantastic. So man, as we go into this weekend, I say it all the time, plenty of stuff to fish for, just about anything you want to do. Get out there and make it happen, Captain.
Great stuff. We're with Damon with Spacefish.com, going over the weekend fishing report. And yeah, again, go to the website, and this is very key. Submit your photos because we got some photos to highlight right now. We do it every Friday. Let's bring up this first one. I believe this is from Terry. Man, first off, just the quality of this photo. What type of phone was this taken on? Look, oh no, wait, hold on. I did it again. All right, here we go. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is a great photo. What type of fish is this?
So that's a largemouth bass. That's people call them Florida bass now, but we just call them largemouth bass. That's what I've always called them. And you'll notice he took this picture to show you. He's fishing that shad spawn that I'm talking about. If you notice that lure, that's a topwater popper is what that is. It has that concave mouth on it. And when you throw that thing out and you pop it, man, it scoots across top of the water, makes bubbles and everything else. And that just goes to show you that bite is insane right now if you can get in on that and get out and catch it early. And that's what he's throwing right there to catch these fish. And man, it's so much fun. Topwater fishing, I don't care if it's bass, trout, first thing in the morning, lagoons, offshore, doesn't matter what it is. There's something about watching a fish come up and just absolutely annihilate a topwater lure. Man, it's so exhilarating. He got a great photo of that fish and what he was throwing to catch it.
That is a really good photo. Nice catch. Let's go with Alex. What do you got here, buddy?
Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about is trout season, man. And this is Captain Alex. He put his client on a really nice gator trout. And that's just, and that's probably, I'm guessing that fish is probably just over 25 inches, maybe a little bit bigger than that. But man, we have trout in our lagoons that are 10 pounds. Now those are very, very, very hard to catch. But we have some enormous trout in our lagoon. But this just goes to show you we have some beautiful, beautiful trout.
I'm not going to lie to you. If you would have said that's New York Giants starting quarterback Russell Wilson, I'd be like, okay, yeah, he looks like Russell Wilson. I'm sorry. And I think that's a compliment. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I like it. This is a good look for him. All right. What's this next one right here?
Yeah, man, this is Captain Joe, and we talk about mahi, dolphin, same thing with, same fish. This is just a great picture of one of those fish, and this is some young man that's out there on the charter with him, and to put him on one, and just goes to show you how pretty these fish are. They're delicious, absolutely delicious to eat, and, most of the time you go into a restaurant, you order a black and mahi salmon. That's what you're looking for right there. So just a killer photo. That fish is all lit up.
That is a killer photo. And that fish does not look like Russell Wilson. So I will continue here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And we got one more. Is this Nick? What's this?
Yeah, so this is Nick. Now, this is one of Nick's clients. This isn't Nick, but this is one of his clients. And we're talking about fishing off the beach right now and the different things you're catching. Sharks, man, this is not that hard to do to lock horns, but this is hard to land. So it's one thing to hook one of these, but it's another thing to get it to the beach. And my goodness, that's a heck of a picture. That's a heck of a shark. But kudos to this guy, man. He absolutely crushed it with that one. And it's a killer picture too.
You're absolutely right. Okay, when we go out, we'll also have our shirts off when we catch them.
Don't do that to me, Mark.
Yeah, we won't look as good as Nick, but we will try. All right. All right. Here's what I need. I need 6 straight months of training, kind of like how actors get it, like where what's his name? Hugh Jackman gets for the role of Wolverine. He's like, I need 6 months of training with some Israeli fitness guy. Then I'll be ready. Take my shirt off. Okay. How can we submit our photos, buddy?
Yeah, man, spacefish.com. We have a caught on camera section, and just it's so easy. Just go on there, upload the photo, put a little caption in, and hit go, and you're live on the site.
All right, should we go fishing this weekend?
Dude, this is gonna be a great weekend to go fishing. Absolutely, plenty of stuff. You can do just about anything you want to do this weekend. So get out there and fish.
And if I told your wife, I called her up and said, your husband is going 6 straight months on the Hugh Jackman diet. You won't see him, but he'll be back in 6 months.
She would love that, Mark. I'm not gonna lie. She would absolutely love that.
Sure, go for it. All right, Damon, thanks for helping. Have a great weekend.
You too, buddy.